Hello students, in this class of ours we are going to study what is first law of motion. So first law of motion is stated like this, that a body continues to be in its state of rest or of uniform motion along a straight line until some external force is applied to change its state of rest or of uniform motion along a straight line. You can divide this line into two parts. A body continues to be in its state of rest until you apply external force. A body continues to be in its state of uniform motion along a straight line until you apply external force. This means only this, that a body at rest will remain at rest, a body in motion will remain in motion until we apply some external force. In other words, this can be stated like this, that a body itself cannot change its state, whether it is of rest or of uniform motion along a straight line. A body by itself cannot change its present state. Could it be of rest or could it be of uniform motion along a straight line? So that was all about the statement of the first law. Now we will see there is one more term which is frequently used in this law, inertia. It is inertia. Inertia means tendency of a body to oppose any change in the present state. An inertia of a body is tendency of a body to oppose any change. And inertia of a body, okay, we have three types of inertia. One is inertia of rest, another is inertia of motion, and yet another is inertia of direction. If a body is at rest, it will try to remain at rest until we apply some external force, or as we said, inertia is the tendency of a body to oppose any change in the present state. That means if a body is at rest, you want to bring it to motion, it will oppose your tendency to bring it to motion because it wants to remain at rest because of inertia of rest. A body in motion wants to remain in motion, that is inertia of motion, but if you want to bring it to rest, it will oppose, that is inertia of motion. And if a body is moving in a particular direction, then you want to change the direction, it will try to remain in the same direction it was previously moving because it wants to remain in the same direction. So inertia is the tendency of a body to oppose any change. We have three inertias: inertia of rest, inertia of motion, and inertia of direction. Now with one simple example, I will explain all the three of them. Why should luggage kept on the roof of a bus be tied? Why should luggage kept on the roof of a bus be tied? See, we will take three cases. One, because of inertia of rest. Let us say initially the condition is such that bus is at rest and the luggage kept on the roof of bus is also at rest. Now if bus wants to move, luggage will try to remain at rest because of inertia of rest and hence may fall in backward direction, that is back side of the bus. Second case we will take for this. Let us assume that bus is already in motion, the luggage kept on the roof of bus is also in motion, and bus suddenly comes to rest. Luggage will try to remain in motion because of inertia of motion and hence may fall in the forward direction. And the third one will be see inertia of direction. If bus is moving in a particular direction, luggage is also trying to move in the same direction, but if bus takes a sudden turn sideways, say it takes a turn to the left, the luggage will try to fall down to the right because it still wants to move, or it still wants to maintain the same direction of motion as was being maintained by it. So because of inertia of direction, so the luggage kept on the roof of a bus be tied. Now another example, if we see why should, okay, with this example I will tell you, you have a glass, over this you put a cardboard, and over the cardboard put a coin. Now if you hit the cardboard will come into motion. Initially both the coin and cardboard were at rest. When you hit the cardboard will come into motion, but coin will try to remain at rest because of inertia of rest and hence will fall into the glass. Yet another example, if you want to see why should fruit of a tree fall when the stem is pushed. See, initially both the stem and the fruit are at rest. When you push the stem, stem comes into motion, stem of the plant comes into motion, but fruit wants to remain at rest because of inertia of rest and hence falls. Similarly, when you beat the carpet, if you beat the carpet with a stick, the dust particles fall down. Why? Initially, both the carpet and the dust particles in the carpet were at rest. When you hit the carpet with a stick, carpet comes into motion, but dust particles will try to remain at rest because of inertia of rest and hence fall. That was yet another example. Now, if you say, okay, let us say this is the surface of a bus. This is the surface of a bus, and a person X is standing on this, and bus is in motion. Initially, this person is standing on the, say, chassis of the bus. Bus is at rest, the person is also rest. Bus if moves, so his feet are in contact with the surface of the bus. Bus moves, his feet also will come into motion, but his upper part of the body, that is head, let us say head will try to remain at rest because of inertia of rest and hence will fall in the backward direction. Now assume another case, if the bus is already in motion, also the person standing there is in motion. Now if bus suddenly comes to rest, this person will have a tendency to fall in the forward direction. Bus is in motion, person is also in motion. When bus comes to rest, the lower part of the body in contact with the surface of the bus will come to rest, but upper part will still try to remain in motion because of inertia of motion and hence may fall in the forward direction. Similarly, if this person falls or jumps outside, say he is here and he jumps here on a bus stand from the moving bus, if this person happens to fall. Initially, when the bus is moving, the person is also moving, but when this person falls onto the ground, let us say, the feet come in contact with the ground. So immediately the feet will try to come to rest, but upper part of the body will still try to remain in motion because of inertia of motion and hence will fall in the forward direction. So there are some more examples of this, with the help of which we can tell what are the applications of first law. But it is not out of place to mention for us that we said in first part, a body at rest will remain at rest until we apply external force. This is visible everyday observations we see. A book lying on the table will remain there if we don't remove by applying external force. But contrary to this, what we see is, if you stop pedaling your cycle, after some time you will find cycle stops. If you have shot an arrow from a bow, after some time you will find that it will fall to the ground. Whereas the second part of the first law was, a body moving along a straight line with a uniform motion will continue to do so. So why this contradiction arises? We have also talked in one of our video before, but let me also tell it here. When we say, okay, you stop pedaling the cycle, now your cycle is moving on some surface, maybe it is moving on road, so there is a force of friction between your cycle and that surface. This force of friction is the one which stops the motion, and also if air is present, the air resistance is stopping. An arrow trying to move upward in the air, because of air resistance, its motion is continuously being opposed. So after having traveled some distance, it will fall down. Had the air resistance and the force of friction between the various objects that could be eliminated, then a body moving along a straight path with uniform motion would have continued to do so until we apply some external force to stop that. So this was all about first law and its applications. First law, we said it is about inertia also. So inertia also, we said tendency to oppose any change in the present state. A body at rest wants to remain at rest. A body in motion wants to remain in motion. A body moving in a particular direction wants to continue its motion in the same direction. So this is also another way of stating the first law. That is why the first law is also called law of inertia. And I have forgotten to mention one thing, that inertia is measure of mass of a body. We will talk about inertia of rest. You have a small ball, tennis ball, and you want to move it. Because of inertia of rest, it will oppose the motion, but by applying small force you can move. But if a cricket ball, which is again at rest, and it wants to remain at rest because of inertia of rest, and if you want to move it, you will have to apply greater force than what you applied for moving tennis ball. So this is undoubtedly because mass of the cricket ball is more than the mass of a tennis ball. This is because of that. So in one way you can say inertia is measure of mass of a body. First law is a statement, and it is also called law of inertia and law of inertia of direction, inertia of rest, inertia of motion. That's all in the first law of motion. More than this is not required. In next video we'll see what is second law of motion.